Now, we are indeed live. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Thursday. It is just gone 8:30. We're slightly late. It's your weekly dose of Mauls, Balls and all. So welcome to you all. Joining me this evening is Dara Weston and also a returning guest. He has been with us before, Les Cusworth, who is ex-Leicester Tigers and English rugby. He is also the ex-director of rugby for Argentina. He's a bit of a legend in Argentina, to be honest with you folks. And also, his first time on the show, this gentleman, uh, my God, actually, we've two bastions of Argentinian rugby on the show this evening, ladies and gentlemen. Marcelo Loffreda. He has played over 44 times for Argentina. He played outside the great Porta. He has scored numerous tries for Argentina. He was a coach. He went to Leicester Tigers. Marcelo, I could go on, but we'd be here all night. How the hell are you, Marcelo? Great to have you on the show. Are you well?
I am very well, thank you. Thank you, and thank you for the invitation. We are honored to be here because I have heard that you have a great program.
Well, maybe, but I don't know about that now, Marcelo. We should judge that at the end of this. But thank you.
Thanks,
Okay,
Les. The money's on its way to you.
the money is on the way, Les. Indeed. Listen, I'll tell you what, gentlemen.
Thank you, Dara.
One question, Marcelo. I'll ask you first before we get into everything. The Lions tour obviously is front and foremost on people's minds. It's going on at the moment down in Australia. They've had their tour games. The first test game is coming up now this Saturday. Marcelo, any particular Lions player that you have seen play, whether it be in the tour games coming up, that you've thought, yeah, outstanding. They're having a great tour. Anyone, Marcelo?
Well, if I understood, you're asking me about what can happen in the next test match. Um, I would like to I would like to say that it's very difficult to predict the future in this kind of games. It's so close. What can happen? But I think that the Lions, since they started with the Pumas, they didn't have a good start, but it was something normal because they was just um, trying to start the mechanism. And now I think that they are quite well, and it will be a very close game. Maybe I can bet for the Lions for the first test.
Oh, very good, Marcelo. Very good. I like it. Okay. Les, I'll ask you the same question. Um, any particular player that for you has stood out? And you went, yeah,
Yeah, being an
he's
ex-fly half, I think Finn Russell is a class act. He's shown it for the last 2 years, and with him starting, I think we'll see a different Lions. I'm not like Marcelo. I think the Lions will win pretty comfortably.
right. Okay. Well, we will come on to that, Les. Now we'll come on to that.
Okay.
Okay. Just a few comments coming in. Gregor, go away. Sorry, Dara. Before I come to you, evening all. Hello to our Spanish guests, Argentinian even Gregor. James says, "Get up." Yeah, okay, fair enough. Gregor, go away. Marcelo was right. We can't predict it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
okay. Matt Boland, I would have been honoured too, but my invite got lost through the internet. Either that or Peter forgot. I forgot. And by the way, Matt, you didn't say you wanted to join in tonight. L. Willoughby, evening chaps. Okay. Dara Weston, your thoughts on this? I know we've covered this before, but with the guests that we have on, anyone you've favoured that has started?
Um, I think Genji Genge has had a massive series of games. I mean, he's put Porter on the bench.
Yes.
And I think coming into it, um, you know, probably people would have thought, look, Andy will go with Porter. Um, Tyke Furlong is playing very very well considering he's only back from injury, and this is what his third lines tour, I think. Which
Yeah.
for a prop is it's the forwards who do the serious work. So I mean, they get older quicker than the backs do. Um, um, yeah, I think probably Genj should probably be my standout. I mean, I could say the obvious Irish answers. I could say, look, Ringrose has been brilliant. Hansen has proved how good he is in defence as well as being a good winger. Um, but I think, look, that's just be flogging a dead horse saying that.
All right, fair enough. Okay, welcome to Peter Martin. I mentioned he will be slightly late, as he said himself. But Pete, welcome. How the hell are you, buddy?
Thanks for joining us, Les and Marcelo. Good.
Yeah,
bit.
yeah. Okay,
Glad
now,
to have you
absolutely, yeah. Two, as I said,
along.
two great Argentinians. Sorry, Les by birth is English, but two legends of Argentinian rugby, I should say. Pete, I asked everyone one particular player who has stood out for you for the Lions that is having a great tournament. What would you say? Who'd be your player?
Well, I would say Pollock. To be honest, like he's gained all
Pollock.
the. Yeah, I think Pollock's
Go on.
had a very solid. He's shown up. He's scored tries. He's made gain line. He's made tackles. Like he's been a headline player for the Lions this tour.
All right. Okay. Okay. Thank you, gentlemen. Les, let me come back to you. I am intrigued by this next fact I came across, right? And equally, Marcelo, I'd be intrigued to as your answer to this. Les, I was reading, Les, that between 2008 and 2018, I'm just gonna hold up my notes here now, Les. Hold on. The registered players in Argentina increased by 80% in 10 years. 80% increase in registered players. Where do you think, Les, that is coming from?
Well, I think one of the gentlemen in the group is partly responsible for that. Marcelo, the successful campaign he had, he was the Argentine national coach, 2002 to 2007. 70 odd games as head coach of the Pumas, and they won 75% of them against most of the Tier 1 nations. Third in the World Cup, and in 2003, the real impetus started when they got to the quarterfinal, and then in the semi-final of when they beat France, when they finished third in 2007, I think the rugby took off. The base of the clubs here has been here for a long, long time, but the impetus since 2007 to 2011, then 15, with the success of the World Cup in 2015, and the organisation of the WAR, and we call them the authorities, the diligentes here. They protect amateur rugby, Peter, and the main priority of everything in rugby here is to protect the amateur base, and everything above that is a bonus. And Marcelo's club, San Isidro Club in Buenos Aires, SIC, has 1,300 juniors every weekend playing at the club. 9 under-19 teams in his club. And I just, every time I see it and I share it, I shake my head in disbelief of what a fantastic job they do, the sacrifice that people give for their club. Now, Marcelo can expand on this, but I find it absolutely incredible.
I think that's amazing. I agree with you, Les. I totally agree with you, Marcelo. Your thoughts? I just I thought that particular percentage increase in participation in 10 years by 80%, Marcelo. I thought that was huge, and I don't. Someone asked me about it, and I don't have an answer because I'm not. I just don't have an answer, Marcelo. As I've asked Les, Marcelo, what do you think?
Yeah, you know, maybe it was evolving quite quite good. The rugby people that were playing, um, but in 2007, as Les told you, it was a big increase, very big increase in the quantity of players. It was that year. It was a 20% of increase, um, for the number of players that were playing. Then it was quite um, quite
Steady.
shallow, no? Um, and in 2015, maybe that there was the other great position that Argentina had. It was fourth in the Rugby World Cup. It wasn't so big. Instead of being between 20 and 30%, it was less than that. It was between 10 and 15 of the increase of players. And then we had a problem with the pandemia. With the pandemia to 2020, 2019, it was a decrease of players, and now it's coming again quite big. With we have now maybe more or less one 1,020 120,000 of players. Maybe is the number we have at the moment. Maybe 130,000.
Wow, wow, wow.
I think it's quite good, but we had a decrease when we were with the pandemic because we couldn't play for 1 year. That was 2020.
But your Marcelo, everything decreased when the pandemic was
Yeah,
on.
yeah, I
Wasn't
think so.
it?
Yeah, yeah,
Everything. Okay,
yeah. I agree with that. I agree with.
so um, Dara Weston, any thoughts? Like I was pleasantly surprised because I love this game and I like to see it expand everywhere, be it in Europe or be it in the Southern Hemisphere, be it in Argentina, whatever. Were you surprised at that? Like over 10 years, 80% increase in participation in rugby in Argentina.
It's a fantastic number. I mean, it's something that World Rugby should be looking through the notes of the Argentinian Rugby Union to see what they did, basically to increase participation. And I know from what Les has said to us before, it's very much a kind of an amateur model at club level in Argentina.
Mm.
Volunteers helping out in their clubs and getting players. So um, we're seeing. I mean, we're seeing through the Lions at the moment the decline in interest in union in Australia, where
Yes,
the,
yes, yes,
the
yes.
guy who posted on one of the Lions groups on Facebook, and his appendix burst, and he went to the hospital, and people were like, "Oh, what are you doing in the city?" And he was like, "Well, I'm one of about 40,000 people who've come here to watch the Lions," and they were like, "The rugby league team, the Lions." And he was like, "No, the British and Irish Lions. They're playing Australia." And like
Jesus.
people in the hospital didn't know. They weren't aware the game was on because union has just become such a minority sport over there. It's all
Yeah.
league and Australian football. Um, yeah, so it's but I'd be interested. When did Argentina join the Southern Hemisphere, the Tri Nations, the Rugby Championship? Was it around 10, 11? Do you think that
I
had a
don't
big
know.
effect also, Marcello, in terms of or
Yeah,
Marcelo, in terms of more
maybe.
games?
Yeah, it was. Um, no, it was more than that. It was 2016 or 2017, something like that.
Okay, okay.
All right.
Okay, so
Okay.
it wasn't even the impetus of that of there just being purely more games also. Um,
Yeah,
so
but
no,
but
I
as
mean it's fantastic. It's that kind of increase in participation numbers, and that's not a new rugby nation. Argentina has always been a strong rugby nation. Uh, so I mean, to get that kind of increase in participation is something that every other rugby playing country would be seriously envious of.
Yeah.
yeah, but
You know,
one of the,
and
sorry, Peter, what I would like to say is um, to give a big importance in what are we doing with the amateur rugby. The amateur rugby is the base, totally the base of all the players that we have. We have in the whole country, and maybe 98% are amateurs. And then we have maybe 2% or 3% that are semi-professionals because they don't play as professionals during the whole year. They have some of them, the ones who are in the academies. We have 5 academies in Argentina in different parts of the country, and those 5 academies um, have maybe no more than 50 players, young players that are developing to be part of the franchises. We have 3 franchises in the Super Rugby of America now, because last year we had only 2, now we have 3. In 2025, we have 3 franchises. So those players are incorporating in the franchises. And then there are many of those players that are in the academies that they don't have place. So some of them, very few of them, they go to overseas because they want to make a different experience, but the other ones come back to the amateur rugby. They come back to their clubs, to their club teams. And the main thing that we have in the amateur rugby is not the money, because we don't have money. We have the volunteers, as Dara said. The volunteers are incredible, and maybe in my club we have 300 of volunteers, and that's incredible because they don't get paid. They only do it because of their passion, because of their desire of help, and those things. No, that's
Yeah, yeah,
important.
yeah. No, no, I think that's very important. But 1 second now, Marcelo. I want to come back to you and ask you something. Sorry, our colleague Matt Boland, he did tell me last week that he wanted to be on the show tonight, and I completely forgot. Matt, that should not surprise you at all. Mike Reedy, evening all. Welcome back, Les, and a big welcome to Marcelo. Mike Reedy
Thank
is
you.
also part of our team. Bev Anne Marie, evening, fellas. Evening, Bev. Good to see you. But Marcelo, I was, and Les, because you two are right there at the cold front. There was a comment made on a podcast that it's only a matter of time before Argentinian rugby does catch up with the professional era. The amateur thing can only last so long. What would you say to that, gentleman? Les, go on. You go. Go on. I can see you waving your finger. Go on, Les.
And not about the well, Marcel will explain better than me because he's actually employed by the Argentine Union to liaise between referees, managers, players, coaches to make sure everything, the ethos of everything that Argentine Rugby Union and its amateur club wants is adhered to. So they are very strict here. It is amateurism. And the 3 franchise players that Marcelo made, they're not paid. They they're given expenses and they fly various places. And when they play in Chile or Uruguay, they go there obviously. But they are, and Marcelo knows the authorities better than I do. They are very strict. This game will not go professional, and this is why every club supports it to the hilt. If you're the water boy or you're the head coach, you are the same. The head coach of Marcelo's club is the same as everybody else, no special favours. And I've lived here now 17 years. I don't think it will ever change. Whether I'm wrong or not, please ask Marcelo the same question. I'd be amazed if it changed its philosophy.
Okay, okay. Thanks, thanks, Les. A point well made. Go on, Marcelo. Your thoughts on this? That what I just asked, Les.
Well, yes, I agree with that. What Les said. I think that this it should be like that. Maybe we can have a level that is in the middle between the amateur rugby, because we cannot play the same level as the Premiership, or maybe the United tournament that you are playing in the British Isles. um, but what we can do is maybe that super rugby that we talk about, the franchises, could be that level that we are needing, but not now, because now is not so strong, and it's not so high in in quality. um,
All right.
we will need maybe 2, 3, or 4 years to develop that level, and we can be at the same level of, for example, a Premiership or something like that.
But Marcelo and Les, if in 3 or 4 years' time, Argentinian rugby and club rugby has reached a certain level, like at some stage, it has to go professional.
No,
To no,
no,
go on, Les, go on. You're trying to come on,
no,
Les, go.
no.
No,
Again, the clubs won't allow it, Peter. The Buenos Aires Rugby Union, which is 110 clubs affiliated to it, Marcelo's club is one with virtually nearly the seniors, virtually 1,700 players. Marcelo, rugby players, 1,300 kids,
yeah,
and there's many more like that. And the Buenos Aires Rugby Union, the authorities, the presidents of all those 110 clubs in Buenos Aires will not allow it to go professional. And
But it's not is
it's
it?
as
But
simple as
Les,
that.
I know, but
They
Les
won't
is
allow it.
okay. Hold on.
you cannot believe it. You cannot believe it. But
Is
No,
it true,
no,
Is it true,
no.
Marcelo? Is it true, Marcelo?
no, that's true. I agree with you, Les. We are not going to change in 2, 3, or 4 years. Maybe in 50 years that will happen in a different way. But
But what, gentlemen, Les and Marcelo, I absolutely totally appreciate where you're coming from and your love of the game, your love of the game and its structure in Argentina at the moment. However, would it not? I don't think it would be detrimental to Argentinian rugby, but it would not be beneficial to Argentinian rugby if an element of professionalism was brought into it. No, Les,
Marcelo?
Marcelo. Go.
no,
Marcelo?
yes, that's correct. What you say, but we are not going to risk the concept, or the what we think about rugby, because
But why not? Why not? Why not? Why not?
no, not because it's a principle. It's not a principle to be amateur or be a professional. You can be whatever you want, but if you want to be professional, you will have to wait till a club in overseas contract you, because here you will not have it, at least for the next 10 years, or maybe five or 10 years.
Okay.
and
Okay.
and and we need to have that middle level that we are trying to find out with the franchises.
Okay. Les, go
Peter,
on. You don't have to put your hand up, Les.
one,
Just go.
one club goes professional, nobody will play against them. Five clubs go professional. They can't afford it because the economy is not sound enough here to afford it anyway, and living beyond their means. If five clubs go professional, I think they'll be eliminated from the union. They'll be eliminated from the provincial union, and they'll have nobody to play against. Everything is so healthy here. Uh, they don't need to change, Peter. And I've changed my mind substantially over the last 17 years while I've lived here. It is a fantastic model that they've got to protect the base of our game. And I applaud people like Marcelo and the authorities that have done this. It is a fantastic model. that I think people should look carefully at.
Okay. Listen,
I mean,
gentlemen.
Peter, from an outsider's view, I would imagine that just given the scale the guys have talked about of the number of players from grassroots level up in Argentinian rugby, um, the cost to going professional would be huge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Because if you have 250 players in academies,
Yeah.
and suddenly you're having to pay them, then you have representative teams. But I mean, the one thing that struck me is certainly okay. From the limited experience of following the Pumas and seeing, obviously, we had the great Dr. Felipe Contamponi playing with Leinster, and there seems to be a great love for their amateur club. Like he went from Leinster to Stade France. Did he go from Leinster to Toulon? I think to Stade Francais, and then he went home to his amateur club in Argentina and finished his
Yeah.
career there. He said he
Yeah.
wanted to
yeah.
finish his
He
career in
came
his
back. He
original
came back
club.
to Newman Club. It was. It
Yes.
was.
Yes.
It
Yeah,
was his
yeah,
club.
yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, is there an
Okay.
Irish connection to that? Is that Cardinal Newman,
But
that club?
listen,
Yeah,
listen.
that's
I
true.
would like to say something that is
It is
very
Cardinal
important.
Newman.
Unless also, sorry, Les, and unless also told about that, we don't have the money to become professional, to become a professional sport. We don't have the money. You know, which is the budget of the union, of the national union, is no more than fifteen million dollars. I mean.
Yeah.
It, so
Yeah.
so if you compare with England, if you compare with South Africa, if you compare maybe not South Africa, maybe New Zealand or Australia, is the 10% of those budgets. So we don't have money to do it, and we are quite happy to have it like that because it's like a treasure now. It was a big discussion before. It was a really big discussion. Many people wanted to become professionals. No, we have to go to the professional. Yes, yes, yes. If you do it with sense, if you do it with intelligence, and if you do it with also what we have um, as activos. How do you say activos? Less
Activity.
not yes. Um, if we have
Officially, activos officially. If you do
of
it officially.
yeah something great because we have the passion, we have the adaptation, we have some things that we need to have it because we live in Argentina, and those are the things that gives more strength and enforcement to think like that.
And if
I
you
must
pay
say,
one, if you pay, Peter, sorry, if you pay one official at San Isidro, the other 116 would walk out the door because he's paid. So why don't I get paid? And
yeah, yeah,
everybody's
yeah, yeah,
treated
yeah,
equal. And then when you pay one, you end up paying 116. So
yeah.
I
the
suppose
model here, I wouldn't touch the model here. I think it's
I suppose
fabulous now for the exercise.
we're quite lucky in Ireland, Les, because we're part of the Six Nations, and there's big TV rights and there's big ticket sales associated with that. That the Irish Union, get quite a bit of money,
Yes,
but
that.
essentially we only have four professional teams: the four provinces, Leinster, Munster, Connacht, and Ulster. The rest of the teams are amateur teams. Okay, now some of the, like when Felipe Contamponi was here, he was playing for Leinster, but he was also assigned to an amateur team, Carlow, because I think he was cup tied for the Heineken Cup, or he wasn't registered in time. So every professional player is also assigned to an amateur team as well. Okay, the referees get paid. The union have a lot of like coaching and development staff and things like that, but I mean, we only have what I think it's 18. No, sorry, 13 centrally contracted players, don't we? And the rest are
Yeah.
Yeah,
paid by
yeah,
the provinces.
yeah, yeah,
So I mean, we're kind of lucky in a way in Ireland in that we don't have very many overheads, but as a benefit of being in the Six Nations and the huge TV money that attracts, we actually get a lot more money than we probably should get based on the size of
and
our playing population.
Yeah, no, true, Dara, and of
Yeah.
course the current British and Irish lines. Peter Martin,
Yeah.
you've been waiting patiently there. Any comments on what we've just been talking about?
Well, it's just that it's funny that Marcelo and Les finally got to what the question answered my question that I didn't have to ask. It was basically was an awful lot of the structure around Argentine rugby socio-economic, and it seems that it is that basically you can't afford to go professional, but by the same margin, it seems that there has been an investment in people. There's been an investment in. There's obviously a love and there's a passion there. They want to do the things the right way, so they're at a stage, obviously, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like, there's not a massive gap between where Argentine rugby is now and the professional, the other professional nations around the world. Like, I've seen I always keep note of the Argentine players coming through because I know from the last World Cup, you had an old squad, an aging squad, and I'm seeing all the younger players coming through, the younger props coming through, who are part of your own use, the super the provincial sides, Los Dogos and so on. So I'm aware that obviously these guys are seriously competitive. Okay, they lost against England in two very tight, very competitive games, but there's that much between the fully professional England and a somewhat professional Argentina. So the guys who are coming in who are ultimately amateur, granted, you've said that they're getting their expenses and so on. They're obviously trading they're not amateur in the old fashioned sense of the world where they're very professional, obviously, in setup, in ideology, in mentality, most importantly, that they're able to close the gap significantly on the fully professional English sides or the other Tri Nation teams or whatever the case may be. So that's massive kudos to what's going on there. And if it's a case, I would take that. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Why try to basically find a load of find a benefactor, find funding to go professional when if the structures are there, I'm sure it obviously correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm sure there's a certain amount of amateur sponsorship there that all the clubs, the franchises in Argentina, there's a reasonable amount of sponsorship there already that they don't they don't, there's not going to be a huge amount gained, I suspect, by taking that extra jump to go professional because they're at that they're so close to being they're so competitive as it is that there's nothing to be gained by going professional. And obviously, the fact that they actually can't, just leave it as it is. If it ain't, leave it as it is.
Yeah, okay, that's a very good point.
Yeah.
Les, is there sponsorship in the amateur game?
Yes, there is.
Okay,
But the sponsorship is basically in time, goods, and materials. One thing that we've been discussing over the last 2 years is the amount of help the municipalities, what they call here councils in the UK, and the provincial governments. There's an awful lot of support from those kind of bodies, and I think Pete's hit the nail on the head. I've never heard it put somebody who's not here to grasp what you've just said, Peter. I think is very impressive and great testament to your thinking about the game and how the game fits in. And for me, yes, there is sponsorship. It's nowhere near what the UK is. But again, the club-wise, it's basically who provides the lights. They have raffles. They raise money through dances, discos, and things like that. So it's very much like we were 40 years ago. And again, I'd be interested in Marcelo's view of what you just said, Peter, because Marcelo is employed by the Union of Argentina to basically keep those principles and instill all those principles in the people and the clubs and other institutions. And please, Marcelo,
okay, well,
explain.
okay, Les. Well, let's hear what Marcelo has to say about those points that were raised. Marcelo, go ahead.
Yeah, yeah, it's totally like that. I agree with Peter also with his views. We are professional, but not with money. We are professional because the players they make all the effort to be as the best competitive way they can be, and also in the same at the same time they are maybe they are they are studying or they are working or whatever, but they have a lot of passion, and that's one of the most important things. No, what I can say also is that it's very important the culture of the game. Our culture is based totally on the game. What the game teaches us is what we try to do in our lives, and this is part of my responsibility in the union. I am the director of culture also, and we try to bring that to the players, to all the players. Of course, I cannot go all over the world, all over the country, but I can talk with the different academies, and those players, young players, the youth players that they have maybe between 18 and 2021, they can listen to what we have to say about the culture, and they start when they are young in their clubs, and then they continue with when they are growing up. No, and I think that this is really very important for them and for all the game in our country.
Brilliant. A great point, Marcelo, and well made. I
And
was looking at. Sorry, go
maybe
on, Daria.
one just point to finish that up is, I suppose, one of the things about the professional debate is, I mean, look at the number of unions that are struggling in the professional era. You have Wales, who are, financial problems. Scotland had to
Disaster.
reduce the number of teams. I mean, if you look at the Pacific nations, Samoa, Tonga, Fiji, they were always massive teams back in the 90s. They were the big lads you didn't want to meet. But, in some cases in the professional era now, just to get their players back and get their players over to Europe for summer matches, and they need sponsors and benefactors. So I think the professional era has been a tide that hasn't lifted all ships equally. Like
Yes,
even
yes, yes.
the Kiwis. I mean, the Kiwis are in financial trouble kind of at the moment because they lost their shirt sponsor and stuff, and they sold part of the All Blacks to some private equity company. So it hasn't been a success for everybody. I think we're very lucky. Mike Reedy put in the comments. So in Ireland in total, out of about, I think, 1,300 senior players, we have 180 professional players that
Mike
the
did say that, Daria, right? Yeah, there's his comment
and
there.
that's
Yes.
and that's across, I think, both male and female. So
Yeah.
uh, you
And
know,
there's Luke Conway. Evening, lads. Hiya, Luke. How are you? Good to have you on board. Okay. I was going to ask a question there, and I got distracted. I'm just trying to. I'm glancing at my notes. The player depth, Les, that Argentina had 5 or 6 years ago is not what it is today. It's far superior today. Is this all a result, Les and Marcelo, of what the efforts that were put in by the coaching staff, by the Argentinian rugby union, by Contepomi, by all that? If I go back, if I look back, it's a very simple thing to do. It's a Google search. 5, 6, 7 years ago, the depth that Argentina had is not the same as it is today. I.e., today is far superior than it was way back. I presume, Les, that is a direct result of all the efforts put in that we were just talking about.
Yes, I think, Peter, it's the structure that's been put in place. And as Marcelo said, the 110 clubs in Buenos Aires, 35 young men are trying to get into the academies to represent the Pampas in the Super Rugby Americas. So they can go play for the Pampas at a higher level and receive expenses. That's enough for them because they've got the badge of the Pampas and they're reaching the pinnacle of their sporting achievement. And having said that, I thought Felipe made a very brave decision, and I haven't seen it really explained in the UK media. He rested 5 of the best players for the 2 England
Yes,
games,
yes.
and I thought that was a really big call. He did it to save them for the rugby championship, and I admire him for that, and I admire the union for that, because the players coming in were very good players, but they weren't the elite players Argentine players that are in clubs like Toulouse and other clubs like that. But yes, the strength and depth is good, and the game continues to thrive. It's incredible.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Good stuff. Our colleague Mike Reedy. It sounds like the ethos of rugby is strong and healthy in Argentina, and is proven by the players that represents the national at international level. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mike. Okay. Marcello, or sorry, not Marcello, Marcelo.
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 Hello.
How I know I won't go into it. Marcelo, how important or does the private school system play in feeding into the Argentinian, be it academies or club system? How important are the private schools?
It's not so important. No,
Okay,
the schools are not the main center of who give to the system players.
okay, you're educating me now. You're educating me now. I don't know this, so that's why I'm
The,
asking.
the, the educa- yeah, um, could be important. Yes, it could be important. The private education could be important because those guys are maybe more aware that they can play different sports, not only football, not only soccer. Um, if you go to every guy, every little or young kid, if you ask him at the same level, you ask him, "What do you want to do when you are bigger?" Well, they will say, "I would like to play soccer," because they have examples. They have a Messi. They had a Maradona when it was there. They have all those examples, but they with the private school and the private education, you can have also the site of rugby, basket, or maybe another sport. So could be important to have a site about which are the sports that can survive not only with football or soccer, because because they can find out that the existence of those sports are really important. But we don't have the base of the schools. We have the base of the clubs. We
Okay,
don't have
okay,
any possible, maybe several, maybe two or three private schools can have um, the possibility to become a club, but mainly the clubs are the base of our system.
and now, where? Sorry, Marcelo. Before we finish, where do the clubs get their membership from? Is it just random advertising, or where do you get it? Just anywhere, just whatever. Yeah.
You
Okay.
have no, you have your place in your club. The clubs, maybe some of them have 50 years, some of them have, for example, my club has 90 years. Yesterday, on the 14th, we have the birthday of 90 years
Oh,
of that club. But that club, my club, was how do you say, less, when
It was formed by the split of two clubs, Cassie
the
and
split of another club that has
oh, wow.
120 years.
Okay.
So it was like that, no? It just
All right.
um, a history, a very very strong history.
A
Peter,
song.
within,
When the
Peter, with-
English came, the Englishmen came to work with the railways, and we have our we have four clubs that founded the union. Those clubs, one of those clubs is Casi, Club Atlético San Isidro, and from that club we split it 90 years ago.
Great stuff. Because normally when the English arrived in a country, they wreck everything. So we'll leave it at that. All right.
Well, look, they did bring
I'm
rugby
joking.
to us as well, Peter. So
They
we give
did.
them,
They did
give them a
good
pass on that.
things. They did good things
I'm
also.
I'm only joking. Uh, Let me see. Is that Kean Redden? It
Mm.
is the Platter high performance system in Argentina, not the very same as any other professional set of academies, pathways. Sorry, yes, sorry for apologies for my mispronunciation. Around the world, players also get paid. Okay.
Can I answer
Michael
that, Peter? Can I
Dunn.
answer that, Peter, please, very
Yeah,
quickly?
just I tell you one sec, Les. Just I have two comments. Michael Dunn, hello from Ireland. Hi, Michael. Where the majority of us are in Ireland. Mike Reedy, are the games between the teams representing the club in Buenos Aires get a large following at the games on a similar level to soccer games like River Plate? Go on, Les.
The Pladar, which was the first question that popped up, well, in Spanish, was the Plan for Desarrollo y Alto Rendimiento. And
Yeah.
that was the
Okay.
plan set up in 2006. That plan was unique. World Rugby said it's impossible to do, to mix high performance and the base. And what Argentina did through Agustin Pichot and the authorities here, they set up a scheme which still exists today, which is part of the cement of the union, called the Pladar. It's the plan for the base, development, and high performance. And these were
Right.
the five centres that were set up. The players do not get paid 1 cent for going to any of these institutions. There are five around the country, as Marcelo said. They are not paid. They see it as an honour to go there. They are representing their clubs, and they go back once they finish. They go back once the under-20s are finished. They go back to their clubs or play for the Pampas and join the amateur structure.
All right. Okay.
Listen,
Now,
we have a case. We have a case. Sorry, Peter.
no,
I
go on,
want
go
to
on.
say an example. We have the case of one player that his name is Albanese. He played for in an England team. Albanese, he renounced to the contract he had for the Pampas. That was a franchise because he wanted to play for his club when he wasn't able to play with the franchise. So he renounced to that. He said, I don't want to receive any money, and if I can play for for my club, that will be fine for me. And
All
and,
right.
and those are some examples that gives the maybe the knowledge of how we think about the game here in Argentina.
Okay. Okay. Very good. Thank you, Marcel.
Yeah,
Gentlemen.
that's Diego Albanese who scored the winning try against Ireland in the '99
Well,
World Cup. We
Yes,
won't
yes,
talk
yes.
about
Okay,
how.
yeah,
I wasn't going to go there. Just shut up. I
Thanks
wasn't
for
going to.
bringing that up, Marcelo.
Yes, thanks very much. Yes.
that's good.
Jesus
That's good.
Christ.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Peter Martin. On saying all this, discussing the setups and the club structure and the amateur structure, and no one gets paid and all that, and the depth that Argentina have increased, and the player participation, and all that sort of stuff. Les, Peter, I'm going to ask you the question, but I'm just going to make a point. Les, I sent you a message, right? And you remember because you laughed at it. And you sent me back an emoji of a glass of Malbec, right? Okay. I said, watching Argentinian rugby is like getting a good bottle of wine or a bad bottle of wine, right? Remember, Les? I
I
said,
do.
yeah, you do. Yeah, I know you do. He said, sometimes it's like, oh, yeah, love this. Give me more of this. You get a bad bottle of wine, it's like, what the fuck is this bollocks? Right? I am now referring to the last two games. Les, the last two games against England. Peter Martin, what the hell went on with that?
Can I jump in? Sorry, Peter.
Yeah, go on
Go
ahead,
on,
Les.
go on, Les.
I asked Marcelo exactly this question. Sorry, Pete.
Go on.
Exactly this question 3 days ago. Why didn't the Pumas? One, not picking the four guys who were playing in the French Cup final, that decided to rest them, which I applaud. But Marcelo was talking about the passion, how rugby at the highest level he sees it. And I think your listeners would love to hear what he says But he thinks the most important parts are when you play for an international team like the Pumas. And I pass on to Marcelo. Your things that you think are the most important, Marcelo?
Yeah, we need to play at our best. You know, when you play for the Pumas, you have to play at to your best of everything, of passion, of attitude, and also with the technical things. You know, we can. I think that England was superior, was better than Argentina. Of course, it was, and they played a great game. I think that they have improved a lot with without the ball, playing without the ball. It was really interesting how England um, improved, and what I think is that Argentina needs to do their best, and that thing doesn't happen. For example, for the English players, so they are different as we are, because we need to give the passion to the game also. We need to put the passion into the game, and that's really main thing, you know, when we play for the Pumas.
But I think Marcelo, what disappointed me, and Peter Martin, I haven't forgotten them asking you the question because you haven't spoken in a while. But I think Marcelo, what disappointed me, and I don't really need an answer, but it's just my own uh,
Yeah,
thought
yeah,
that Argentina. Now I was at the game in the Aviva. They beat the Lions 28-24. It was a good game. There was rustiness on both sides, I suppose. But then I was surprised that they didn't win at least one of those games against England. That's all. That's all I'm saying. Okay, Peter Martin, your thoughts on this before we're fast running out of time as we always do. I want to go on to the Lions, the first test against Australia. Go on, Pete.
Yeah, well, I suppose, look, when I saw the team selections, there's obviously, my feeling is that Argentina are rebuilding in certain, there's a much younger cohort of players, group of players coming through. Like I saw, I think you had, he's a double barrel, the prop, tie head prop who started, I think, am I right in saying he's almost 40? He started, which is incredible for, like, fair play to him and all that. But I think perhaps that's part of the problem that Argentina are currently solving is they're moving away from the reliance on older players and they're trying to bring young ones through. And you've also then you've a whole cycle, I think, and particularly now that I've my understanding of where the game is in Argentina is a lot more enhanced thanks to our discussion this evening. But it has definitely given me a greater understanding that you need to be absolutely when Argentina plays, when the Los Pumas play, they need to be at 100%. 95%, it's not going to work. They're not going to perhaps win. They need to be firing at 100% in order to get the maximum effort, to get the maximum performance, and to get the win. That's my feeling from it. But I just think it's just obviously there's you're bringing in new players. You've got Rubiolo in the second row. He's a young player, very good player. You have Matera who's there a while. He's getting older. Gonzalez in the back row, fantastic number 7. He's probably one of the best sevens in the world game, 7 back rows, but he's what I would consider an unfashionable player. He's not a guy you're going to see in the conversation for a World 23, we'll say. But he's a fantastic player. There's loads of players around the world rugby who are equally good, and they're just they don't figure
And
because
the halfbacks, Pete. Sorry to cut across you. The halfbacks, Garcia and Albanese.
yeah. Albanese is
Great.
fantastic
Yeah.
player, and like
Yeah.
you've got the new scrum halves come through. Like, is it Bertrand who is the old? He's kind of he's an older player. It's
Yeah.
just you're looking for you're rebuilding. You're looking for the next. You want to hit that performance again for the next World Cup, which is what everybody should be doing. Like, it's
Yeah. True. Yeah,
But
absolutely.
Pete,
Okay.
Pete, you are really. I'm totally in agree with you, because I think that if we don't play with 100% of our main attitude also, and the other things that we need to play, uh,
Yeah,
we will be in the middle of our rendimiento.
hmm
I
performance.
Achievement.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, okay, gentlemen, great points and well made by all. We are now we 4 minutes, 4.5 minutes left or thereabouts. I want to ask everyone, Les, we are in the season. We are mid lines, bananas, stuff, coverage, everything. Les, the first test is we've seen the tour games. We've spoken about the tour games here. First test is on Saturday. We've seen the teams; they've been released. Les, your gut feeling about? No, I know you said previously that the Lions might win it, but how are they going to win it, Les? Where's it going to be won or lost?
Well, you look at the team that Farrell has selected. He's picked a gigantic pack to do one
Yeah,
thing: go forward. And he's made the statement: no more of this pussyfooting around 17 phases. We're going to go through the front door. So he's picked a Scottish midfield, two very powerful centres, a huge pack of forwards, and you look at there's no weaknesses within the team. You look at the back row, the choice of back row players they've got is fantastic, and you look at they can play a bit as well behind as they're showing. Finn Russell in at 10, a little Irish superstar at 9. I think this is one hell of a Lions team. Looking at Australia, they've got two second rows. I know they're injured. You've got Liner coming in at Michael's boy. Michael's a fantastic player, and I'm sure his son will be as well. His son is coming in for his third test. That will be a huge ask for him, because he'll be under an awful lot of pressure from this dynamic Lions physicality.
mm
yeah.
And
yeah.
I think they'll overpower Australia.
All right. Okay. Thanks, Les. Dara, your own thoughts on the upcoming test? Uh, the teams that were picked, where is it going to be won or lost? As I asked Les.
I'd be interested to hear a score from Les, because Mystic Les was, I think he was only one
No, no,
score out
don't
of
ask.
the
No,
score prediction last time. So just for the betting public out there, they might be interested.
we
Look,
will come on to
given
that one.
Marcelo Loffreda,
given
and
the kind of
I'll
performances that the
tell you
Lions
tomorrow
have
morning.
put in against the clubs over in Australia, um, I think it's going to be a strong performance by the Lions. I would say probably going to be the Lions by 10 plus.
All right.
Um,
Okay.
I think.
Okay. Go on, Marcelo. You're laughing there. Go on. Give us your
Well,
prediction.
I told you, I bet for. Of course, we cannot predict the future, but I bet for the Lions. I think that they have um, already been together to make a very good performance. And I think I agree with Les, and I think that the forward pack of the Lions are huge, and they will make a difference.
Would it be a case, though, gentlemen, that is power against pace? Would it be that sort of way? No. Yeah. No. Anyone?
I think it will be both things. They will
Okay.
need to be very straight, and then they will need pace. Of course, they will need pace, and they
But
have
but is
they have
it?
they have the players to do the pace.
I was going to say, Marcelo, is it the Lions' power against the Australian pace? Would that be
Okay.
a yeah?
Yeah,
Would that be a
yeah,
way to?
yeah. Maybe it will be like that. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
but I think that will succeed the Lions
Okay.
strength.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Marcelo. Peter Martin, your thoughts on this before we go into the games that are coming up for our win, lose, and draw, and then we'll finish it up. Go on, Pete. Test.
Yeah, I think Farrell has picked. He's picked a very professional side to do the best job to go out and win the game. I do think that Joe Schmidt has been significantly hamstrung because he's no Tupou, he's no Skelton, he's no Valentini. Valentini and Skelton are probably two of of the most physical international rugby players there are. Tupou is, I'll call it straight. I don't regard him in the scrum, but get him in open play, he can carry. So you're losing that physicality in the loose when you don't have Tupou playing. But
Yeah.
Australia are going to be. They want to play it fast and loose. They want to stretch the lines to the four corners of the pitch and move it fast and keep them moving because the Lions pack. You've got an awful lot of bulk and weight there with Joe McCarthy and Atoje. Like everybody was saying about like having the balance of having Atoje and McCarthy would be considered, I suppose, very similar. A tight head lock, a heavy bulk. There wouldn't be a huge amount of dynamism perhaps there, with either one of them. But again, you've got a hard carrier, a hard warrior in Conan at 8. He's there to make the hard yards, the physical stuff. If it gets open, it won't necessarily suit Conan's game so much. And in much the same way, he's gone for Byrne, for in the back row, the line-out option, a third line-out option. We know his jackal ability, and I suppose, as I've mentioned in our group previously, possibly the most contentious pick of all is Tom Curry at 7, who's arguably been the worst of the back row players on tour.
Jack Morgan, hello. Curry over Morgan.
Well, even Van der Fleer has had
Van der Fleer, yeah.
Fantastically efficient game, as well, racking in a huge number of tackles, high percentage completion rate, and like Van der Fleer is an incredible engine around the pitch. But he's gone for the intangible stuff that Curry brings, which is probably the stuff that isn't measured in stats, but the stuff that coaches and only the likes of Marcelo perhaps he can really appreciate what the likes of Tom Curry can do.
All right. Okay. Now, gentlemen, we are over the hour mark as always. I've just picked 5 games. Les, I'm going to come to you first. 5 games that are on this weekend. There's more, but I just picked 5. So win, lose, or draw. So, Les, there is an Argentinian select 15 that are playing Romania. Les, win, lose, or draw. Who's winning? Who's losing? Who's drawing?
Argentina to win 27-15.
All right. New Zealand playing France.
New Zealand to win by 20 points, 32-12.
All right. We got obviously we just spoke about it. Australia playing the Lions in the first test. Give us your call on that.
A great admiration for Joe Schmidt, one of the best coaches in the world. However, I will go 37-15 Lions.
Okay. South Africa are playing Georgia. I think that's a kind of a...
Depends which team they pick. 32-17 South Africa.
Okay. And Argentina are playing Uruguay.
That'll be a close game. Uruguay much improved. I would say 29-21 Argentina.
All right. Okay. Dara, thank you, Les. Dara, the Argentinian select 15 against Romania, Dara. Any idea?
Argentinian select, I think. Romania are a good team, but they have a good few forwards, go to the French leagues, but yeah, I think the Argentinian select should be too strong for them.
Okay, sorry, I just see a comment here from Sean Fleming. I think Australia will move the big Lions pack around the field and quite possibly tire them out. You let the Lions keep it tight for the first 20. Okay. Thank you, Sean. Okay, Dara. What did I just ask you? New Zealand against France. Did I ask you? Sorry, I got to.
No, you didn't.
New Zealand New Zealand. Okay, New Zealand against France. Go for it.
New Zealand. I assume France are probably going to do the same thing and put out a team with under 100 caps between them all. So
probably, yeah. Okay. The first. Okay, the first test, Dara. Australia against the Lions.
Lions by, I'd say, plus 10 points, maybe 2 scores, two converted tries, or 2 tries anyway.
Okay, South Africa are playing Georgia.
I think we'll have to listen to South Africa will probably do something stupid at kickoff again, and we'll have to listen to the genius of brassy, and how innovative he is, and all. So yeah, South Africa will win, I'm sure.
Okay, and the Argentinians are playing Uruguay.
Um, I'll be guided by Les on this. Yeah, I would say Argentina would do it, but tight match. I mean, Uruguay have always been a solid, strong team. So, but I think Argentina will beat them.
Okay. Marcelo, to you. The Argentinian Select 15 are taking on Romania.
Yeah,
Who's winning?
I think that Argentina will win. I
Okay.
don't know, maybe 30 against 10,
Okay.
30-10,
Okay. New Zealand are playing France.
40 for New Zealand, 20 for France.
Epa.
Okay. And the first test that we just spoke about, Australia are playing the Lions.
Lions 30 and Australia 24.
Okay. South Africa are playing Georgia.
50 against 15. South Africa.
Ooh. You're getting a bit of the Les disease. Les goes for these mad bloody scores. You know,
Confidence, Pete. Confidence, mate.
confidence. Yeah, I know. I hear you, Les. Yeah, okay.
And Argentina without they cannot underestimate Uruguay. If they don't underestimate Uruguay, they can win 32-14.
Okay.
It's on the fence, Loffreda.
All right. Okay. Okay. Peter Martin, last voice on the show. The Argentinians select 15 against Romania.
Yeah, Argentina select to win handsomely.
Okay. New Zealand are playing France, Pete.
Yeah, New Zealand to put 20 plus points, winning margin on France.
All right. Okay. The first test, Australia are playing the Lions on Saturday.
Yeah, I would fancy. I'd say it'll be something like along the lines of 40-15 to the Lions. Like,
Okay. Well.
like
Okay.
no doubt about it. Schmidt will have a few tricks off set pieces and that. That's his speciality. His trick is set plays. He'll have
There
something.
is.
He'll have a
There's
few
a
tricks.
lot of there's a lot of confidence here in the group that we have on for the Lions to win this relatively easily. I don't know, gents. I don't know. We shall see. Pete. Anyway, South Africa are playing Georgia.
Yeah, I think Georgia might get 7 points and South Africa will beat them by 30.
All right. Okay, and the Argentina senior squad taking on Uruguay. Pete.
Yeah, I'll be led by the lads who are local. I'd say it's going to be 30-20 or something like that to Argentina.
All right. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, that is all we have time for. We have gone nearly 1 hour and 10 minutes. We've gone nearly 10 minutes over time. My thanks to everyone who watched, everyone who offered an opinion, typed in, offered a comment. It is very much appreciated. My thanks to my guests. Well, you know, two of them, Peter Martin and Dara Weston, who are involved in the group and running of stuff. Also, my very huge thanks to two of Argentinian rugby legends. We have Les Cusworth and Marcelo Loffreda. Gentlemen, thank you all very much. It is very much appreciated. You've been very good. Thank you for your
Thanks,
time
guys.
and
Thank you, Peter.
enjoy the rest of your evening. And thank you. Cheers, gentlemen.
Cheers, guys.
Gracias.
Thank
Thank you very much for your
Ciao, ciao.
invitation.
Take care. Take care.
Thanks
Bye-bye.
all. Night night.
Bye-bye.